What's up YouTube, ODST General back again, and I have a ton of content to cover with you guys before I even get started with recording. I've got like 12 minutes worth of stuff. So let's go ahead, let's hop into it. Starting us off the bat, we've got Burgess's first official content for Operation Trebuchet, a new helmet for a new faction he is working on for the CMA. So I'm assuming that this will be an independent faction within Optre, similar to the Colonial Police as they currently are. This definitely has remnants or similarities to his CGA helmet for OpCan, but a little bit different. The custom visor, goggles, whatever you want to call them, pretty unique, as well as the kind of earpiece thing that they've got going on. So overall, I definitely like these. They do kind of sort of remind me vaguely of the pod racing helmet from Star Wars, but hey, other than that, they're good though. I dig them. Moving us on, we've got another updated look at the drone that, sorry, Reverence is working on it to clear my throat there. I had a little bit of a tickle there. So, not much else to say about it. Looking good so far. Obviously, he'll need to continue improving and working on it before it's released, so still a ways to go, but digging where he's going with that. Braz released another peek at new weapons, so he's been working on the Spartan laser and a couple other things, but he also released the Gadouche. So this is something we talked about previously that was getting worked on. I think Shadow had worked on this at one point down in the past, and it was going to get implemented into like a side mod, but it never actually happened. So the Gadouche is actually getting worked on for the main mod. If you guys are unfamiliar with it, even though I've talked about it previously, this is a fan-in weapon, so this isn't actually something from one of the games. Actually, that's not true. This might be from concept art, if I'm remembering correctly. This might have been a concept launcher that never actually got implemented. Now I can't remember. But anyways, continuing on past that, we've got our first look at Vladimir's stuff in a little bit here. So we get a interior video of Scorch kind of testing out the Oni sword base hangar bay, which is actually listed as like an Air Force hangar for some reason, but I guess that doesn't matter too much. Pretty large facility. Not much to say about it. I mean, it's basically a giant garage. So, I mean, kind of neat. You can see him using a I can't remember the name of the fighter there. All of a sudden, just completely blanked out, and my brain's not coming back, and it won't let me remember that now. I'm gonna remember that as soon as I'm done recording. But yeah, get the interior of the hangar. We've got a Spartan. Actually, I should be watching these at like 1-to-1, just because I'm flying through on the audio, and like these are going to take a lot longer to get through all that stuff. Anyways, we've got also on top of that, we've got some vehicle stuff to share that Vladimir and everybody else has been working on. So before we get back to Vladimir's stuff, though, I want to show off Hollywood's Kodiak. So that is, of course, the other artillery piece he's working on besides the Rhino. So the Kodiak's not quite as far along. Still in the blackout phase and all that stuff. Looking pretty good so far, though. I don't know what really to say about this. I'm excited for it and looking forward to using it, but beyond that, not much else to say at this time. Just waiting for it to come out, I guess, really. And might let the footage play for a little bit longer, but I think really what you guys are seeing here in this little bit of talking is probably should suffice. I mean, it's really not necessary to show off all of this footage because it's all pretty similar. So, moving on once again, we've got Vladimir stuff, going back into that. So he shared off his M808S, his Scorpion tank, which is the Halo Wars 2 version. So we've got a bunch of interior screenshots, so interior consoles and stuff like that. And then we've actually got some exterior shots as well here in a second, as soon as all these interior shots go through. Not really anything in particular to say about this. The interior definitely looks really good. It definitely looks very Halo for the most part. The chairs maybe a little old school, a little bit Vietnam looking, but I think other than that, though, it definitely has that Halo vibe. It's just a solid looking interior, really. With that being said, though, like I said, we do have some interior shots to show off as well for this. So talking about those interior shots, exterior shots. So talking about the exterior shots, Not much to talk about here either. It definitely looks like he's gone to try and recreate the Halo Wars 2 paint job this thing had with the white stripes and stuff on there. Aside from that, I mean, it's pretty similar to the actual Scorpion, but it does look great. It looks like an excellent unit. Looking forward to using that. That brings us to First Contact stuff. So in First Contact, we've got a lot going on. We've got work on the Spirit dropship here. As far as the Spirit goes, we've got a spotlight that's been worked on for it. So the spotlight's kind of cool. So we get a couple nighttime shots of that spotlight shared by Vespade, and then he's been doing a ton of streaming trying to get this thing ready for First Contact's release. I don't know when that's supposed to come out. I was expecting it sooner, but it seems like they're pushing really hard to get that Spirit included in this release, so they've delayed it some to do that. But yeah, you guys get to see it landing, so it does have landing gear currently, which are these like purple little struts that come out of the sides and fold back up into the ship. So while you're in flight, they're not overly noticeable. If you know where to look, I guess you can see them, but looks kind of weird, but I feel like it's probably the best to have the actual landing gear. It would be kind of weird to not have it, or even just having it invisible would probably throw a lot of people off. You guys can also see this thing in action as far as actual troop transportation and how many guys it can carry is a ridiculous amount of elites and stuff. So tons and tons of guys here that this thing carries. Small army, really. So should be kind of interesting to see this thing once it's actually fulfilling its role as a troop transport. We've got some interior views of the thing flying around, so you can see it from the inside cockpit of the pilot. You can see where the co-pilot will sit, although you don't get a view of the co-pilot's position. So it's hard to say. Now, it sounds like this thing won't have picture-in-picture, so there won't be a video screen inside the cockpit for the gunner to see what the gun sees, but he'll still be able to obviously go into first person for the weapon itself and aim that way, so that shouldn't be too big of a deal, I don't think. Going on with the Covenant, we've got a bunch of stuff of different elites firing off different weapons, or I guess the same elite firing off different weapons, showing off the new particle effects at night. So you've got, the red one from the Brute Plasma Rifle, you've got a purple one from the Carbine, or green one from the Carbine, purple one from the Beam Rifle. You've got your Plasma Repeater, and then you've got your Shade Turret, which just looks super awesome. Definitely going to be a nasty thing to go with. And then we've got some on-foot stuff for the elites too. So this one will leave a small break because basically this is footage of the elites actually talking. So this is the elite voices, which have been they've been working on re-implementing into the game. I don't know if they'll make this release or not. Sounds like they needed a fair bit of work that Scorch was having to sort out, but I'll leave this open for just a second so I can play that.
Oh god.
Yeah, but then that would be a mod dependency on that Achilles.
I mean, doesn't everybody use Achilles?
Their voices aren't bad. The hand in them is fixed.
Yeah, I mean, it still does this weird thing where it's broken at first, and then you go fixes it.
So weapon models are very centered. Yeah.
This would look really cool if it wasn't
This would look really cool.
strange.
So, Scorch, why does that elite look like he's trying to hold that pistol very hard?
Yeah, because it's a
Don't you fucking judge him. He's trying his goddamn best.
No, it just looks really
Reach
funny.
on PC. Yes, this is in fact Reach on PC. It's an open world mod. It's called Operation Trebuchet.
This is action.
Alright guys, and then beyond that, I believe it's now official. The Shrike turret is publicly been acknowledged finally. So this is something I've been sitting on for a while. I don't think this was shown off previously, but I've been sitting on some video for this, and I've got to check to see if I have actually got that video for it because I've been sitting on it so long. But it's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, perfect. I do have some video of it. Now, the video you guys are seeing is from months ago, so this thing's probably changed up since then. This is from back in August that I got this footage and that I've been sitting on it. But you guys will have some looks at this this turret then in that case. beyond the Shrike turret, we've also got some Spartan stuff going on. So as far as the Spartans, we've already talked about them having new armor, but they're going to get even more new armor that we haven't talked about. They're getting red versus blue themed armor. Currently, right now, the armor is named after the person that wears it in red versus blue. That is bound to change. But we've got, your blues of varying shades, your reds of varying shades, including a certain light red character. Not much else to say about that, though, really. Pretty awesome stuff. I mean, I don't know how much those will get used. I'm sure, actually, probably quite a bit. But I don't know what else to say about it, really. Oh, shoot. I did something out of order here. Darn me. Okay, well, we're going to skip back to the Covenant stuff, back to the Spirit for a second here, because I forgot to cover it. Vehicle will be a thing with the Spirit. So as far as that goes, the Spirit will have the functionality to load basically anything that will fit between its two forks or pylons or whatever you want to call it. So Banshees, Warthogs, in theory, if you have that Ghost mod, the old Optrade Ghost, you can load that in there. Basically anything the bounding box is small enough to fit in there, you will be able to carry it. So that's going to be pretty exciting stuff. Nice little functionality there. So I forget, I thought I had footage of this thing just bombing. Okay, yeah, that is the last thing that I had on there. It's basically just bombing Warthogs onto the ground, which is kind of funny. And then getting into the last little bit of stuff here, we've got a couple more pictures to go. We've got some stuff from Marstruck here, a thing from Marstruck, which is the Halo concept boat that he's working on. Previously, we had seen this boat that was being worked on by, I believe, Tim, but never got completed or never went anywhere. So this one from Marstruck will hopefully become publicly available at some point through some means. I don't know if he's planning to just give it to another mod or if he'll release it independently or how that's going to work. He has made one large alteration to it, which is basically that he added a second set of seating. So basically, instead of just having the two seats and the gunner in the back, just like the Warthog, it's got a second row of seats that can carry an additional 3 people. Now, interestingly, despite doing this and it looking pretty much the same shape overall, it is actually shorter than the other version of the boat. So that's kind of an interesting thing that he's got going with that. Beyond that, you'll notice that there's no gun turret currently modeled out. Now, there's been some talk of Optre's turret being used on here. I don't know if this will go to Optre or not, or how that would work if it does. But just worth noting that, yeah, this might have not only the standard LAAG turret, but, possibly other turrets. So maybe a rocket, like the tow missiles, maybe possibly the anti-air. It's hard to say for sure. Potentially even the Gauss, who knows? But yeah, anyways, continuing on, we do have a little bit of tiny news for Opcan. Burgess has gone back and once again redone the camouflages for the Reach guys, so we've got some slightly more accurate Reach camouflages here. So just get to see that front and back. Other than that, I don't have much else to say about that. So I'm at about 12 minutes in the audio recording here, despite having added some extra stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed all the content. Of course, let me know what you're looking forward to the most. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.